Good afternoon from London and good afternoon from me, Dr. Dermot Hudson, Chairman of the British Group for the Study of the Juche, Chairman of the UK Korean Friendship Association, official delegate of the Korean Friendship Association for the United Kingdom, and President of the Association for the Study of Songun Politics. I'm here today to speak about the historic and momentous fifth plenary meeting of the Central Committee of the Workers' Party of Korea. The Workers' Party of Korea is the Supreme General Staff of the Korean Revolution and the organizer and guide of all the victories of the Korean people. It's basically like a command post of the Korean Revolution, or the Supreme Command. It is a mass party with members from all walks of life. It has several million members, and most families in the DPRK will have at least one party member. The kind of people in the Workers' Party of Korea range from waitresses, cleaners, ordinary farmers, right up to government ministers, generals, and academics. The Workers' Party of Korea was founded by the great leader, President Kim Il-sung, and led and developed by the great leader, Chairman Kim Jong-il. It is now led by respected Marshal Kim Jong-un, the supreme leader of Juche, Korea. As the situation on the Korean Peninsula has become more tense over the last few months, because the negotiations between the US and DPRK have stalled, come to a grinding halt, because, as we all know, the peace advocated by Trump was a phony peace, a fake peace. It wasn't real. And behind the curtain of dialogue, the US was basically sharpening its dagger to stab the DPRK in the back. So, yes, basically the hostile policy of US imperialism towards People's Korea, which aims at regime change and the recolonization of the northern half of the Korean Peninsula, remained totally unchanged. Therefore, the Central Committee of the Workers' Party of Korea decided to call a special plenary meeting to discuss the situation. Earlier plenary meetings of the Central Committee of the Workers' Party of Korea were held in April 2018 and in April 2019. The meeting heard the report from Marshal Kim Jong-un. He spoke for 7 hours. I mean, this is quite something, shows that he's an energetic leader with great capabilities. It was decided at the meeting that the DPRK would no longer be bound by the commitments that were given at the Singapore summit, such as the suspension of nuclear tests and suspension of tests of intercontinental ballistic missiles. This is because the US never kept its side of the bargain. As Marshal Kim Jong-un pointed out at the meeting, the US actually imposed 10 sets of independent sanctions upon the DPRK. Yes, that's 10 sets of sanctions. And by independent, we mean that these were imposed outside of the United Nations Security Council. Basically, they're standalone US sanctions in addition to the UNSC sanctions. This was quite a hostile act against the DPRK, aiming to strangle the economy of the DPRK and trying to bring the DPRK socialist system down. In addition, the US also carried out military exercises with the South Korean puppets against the DPRK. Respected Marshal Kim Jong-un has seen through the fake peace tactics of the US imperialists, and he declared that denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula is off the table until the US ends its hostile policies towards the DPRK. He also said that the world would soon see a new kind of DPRK strategic weapon. This is very impressive. Now, I remember when it was announced that the first summit between Trump and the Supreme Leader, respected Marshal Kim Jong-un, was going to be held, that some people expressed doubts about the DPRK. They thought it was giving in, that it was going to reform and open up and so on. They've been proved wrong. The DPRK Supreme Leadership has seen through the US. It's taking no nonsense from the US. It's going to go on its own path, a path of Juche and self-reliance. And in his report to the plenary meeting, respected Marshal Kim Jong-un stressed the need to increase self-reliance and self-sufficiency, and to rearrange economic structures with that goal in mind. Rather than reform and opening up, he talked about the need to enhance the role of the cabinet centered economic planning system and the cabinet responsibilities system. In other words, giving a greater role for the cabinet of the DPRK over the economy of the DPRK. And also, respected Marshal Kim Jong-un stressed the need to mount a nationwide and a party-wide struggle against anti-socialist deeds and non-socialist deeds. And I think this is very significant. The DPRK is hitting back at those enemies of Juche socialism of one kind or another, whether they're open ones or hidden ones, that seek to undermine the DPRK socialist system from within by trying to spread anti-socialist ideas into the DPRK. So this is very good that action is going to be taken against this. We're sure that as a result of the holding of this crucial plenary meeting of the Central Committee of the Workers' Party of Korea, that when the decisions of it are put into action, the DPRK will grow stronger under the banner of self-reliance, the banner of Juche. We're sure that under the leadership of great respected Marshal Kim Jong-un and the great Workers' Party of Korea, the Korean people will march on to even greater victories, and they will build a prosperous socialist country and reunify their country. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, and please come to our events. Thank you.